Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video, we got to be setting up a bunch of new enclosures. Now that's not what we're going to be doing today, but to be able to set up those enclosures, we need to go shopping. So we've got all sorts of different types of spiders, lizards coming. We got all sorts of crazy stuff. We need stuff for the isopods. So to be able to do that, we need a lot of supplies. Where are we going to go shopping? Well, let's go and see. So below the 160, there's these two vivariums. This wasn't a 36 by 18 by 12 tall. And over there is a 24 by 18 by 12 tall. And there's plans for both of these. They got full top ventilation, they got full spectrum lighting. And we're going to obviously, we'll change the backgrounds when we get a little bit closer. But we need a lot of supplies to be able to set these up properly. Same as down here, we have a couple more tarantula enclosures. There's two that set up you've seen already. We've got one more here we've got to clean and get set up. This one's pretty much set up. I want to add some other plants to it down the road, but we just want to get some life start going in there, and it's bioactive. And then this one here, the big P. regalis, the big female, she's going to be moving from there because she doesn't really use any of that enclosure. She never really leaves that much of an area. She's going to go down here once this one kind of takes off a little bit. And then we've also got the 160 is going to be moving right away, so we're going to have all the isopods moved over there. And then we're going to have to move a bunch of stuff to be able to accommodate here, and then the planted tank, and we'll get this rack out of the way as soon as we can get this tank off it. But this tank, because it's built into this kind of a stand, I can't really go and lift it out or drag it out. I'd have to drag it out either this way or that way, and that makes it a bit more challenging to get it out. But it's coming together. So before we get any further, let's go shopping. We need some stuff for all these vivariums and stuff for all the different types of animals. So let's hit it. Well, here we have it. We're finally at the store. No better store for finding natural materials for your vivariums than nature itself. So let's take a look. Now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for a large kind of an area where a lot of the leaf litter is kind of blown together so I can get a lot of leaf litter. So look at that, perfect. We got all sorts of leaf litter there. And more importantly, look at all the deadfall. So with the deadfall, we get a few things. We get access to different types of bark, preferably hardwood barks. They come off the tree real easily. These are absolutely ideal. These are perfect hides. These are great for the isopods. These are great hides for the tarantulas and centipedes and whatnot. Look at all that texture and color. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So we can peel all this stuff, just comes off quickly. But even then some we can also find around us here. We'll find some trees that have been deadfall for a while that provide rot. And rotten wood is also great food for a lot of the isopods as well. So all around me, I've got everything I could possibly ever need for my vivariums. I've got different types of woods. Preferably I like hardwoods like poplars, oaks, elms, that sort of thing. They're going to last a lot longer in an environment that's going to be humid. But a lot of this dead wood will have rot in it. Like this piece right over here is absolutely ideal. This is going to be nice and crumbly, and this will be an ideal product for use in a lot of the isopods and so forth. This is very, very crumbly stuff. It breaks up quick and easy. Now the ideal thing that we're going to do is we'll take this home. It's probably going to be just filled with all sorts of critters. And what we'll do is we'll break it up a little bit. And you got a couple of options. You could submerge it in water really, really well, because any animal that's going to live in our climate will probably withstand the freezing process. So the freezing aspect probably won't work as well for us. But submerging it in water, but because it's not going to destroy the nutrient value or anything of it, unlike say like a moss, which we'll talk about in a second. This thing here, I want it basically just as a food source. So by me crumbling it up and then baking it in the oven, let's say 15 to 20 minutes at about 350, 375, I break it up, put it on cookie sheets like I've done with my bark, and it makes for a great food source and an additive for my vivarium mix, my substrate mix, and a great food source for all the different isopods in the microfauna. What a good score. How many other people would get excited about finding a dead log in the forest? But we are. So in the exact same spot, no, we have leaf litter. We got pieces of bark that have fallen off. There's another big slab of bark right here. Just absolutely awesome. That is exactly why we come to the woods. We always make sure that we come to an area that's definitely not going to be sprayed with any sort of herbicides or pesticides. We don't want to be introducing any of those type of products to our environments with our critters. But back in nature, nature has a way. All these products will get recycled one way or another. So we're going to use them for our isopods. Even look at the base of this tree. You can see all this bark is going to peel off. This is a dead tree, so all this bark will peel right off, no problem too. And all these nice fissures, all these things. These are awesome for putting on back walls of vivariums for tarantulas and things like that. Gives a lot of texture, a lot of appeal, but also gives a nice area for the animals to hide. So this super cool piece is the one we were just showing you, but has all the texture from the bugs and the critters and whatnot, and it's all broken down. But the entire thing is hollow. This is going to be an outstanding piece for one of the vivariums. Here we got some more bark. Look at those beautiful bark pieces they come off. They're already starting to break down. They make for nice little hides for isopods and so forth. Always harvest them off dead trees or deadfall. Never take them from live trees, because whether you know it or not, a tree is not alive in the center of the tree, the part that we view as wood. Basically, the bark on a tree is what contains all the life. The center of a tree, the wood, is actually just the structure that holds the tree upright. So by stripping the bark, we kill a tree. And we don't want to kill any trees. Let's leave them alone. Hey, if you guys are loving nerding out with me, the Bigs, that's awesome. I love having you here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell. You'll never be missing out on any of the content. So if you like setting up natural vivariums and terrariums, drive an hour outside of your city. Unless you live in like an absolute massive metropolitan area, maybe you might have to drive a little bit further. But absolutely everything you're ever going to need is here in nature. I'll put a link to one of the videos, or a series of videos that I've talked about different isopods and are we really doing them right or not. And often we take these things a little bit too serious, a little bit too clinical. But probably a foot below me, on the ground, in this leaf litter, is isopods. They're everywhere. They're part of nature's cleanup crew, and they break things down. So all in all, I think we've had a pretty successful day today, finding a lot of treasure. All right, here's some of the spoils of some of the things we were able to find on the logs. These things are absolutely outstanding for the isopods, as well as just beautiful things to add into your vivariums for your animals. Imagine your tarantula climbing over this, or something for your centipede to hide underneath. You know, beautiful natural mosses. They've overwintered. And then these lichens, and then little pieces of rotting wood that just crumble up. This is all exceptional stuff. So whether I use this piece of moss or I just take this and just grind this all up and throw this into my potting mixes, this is all exceptional natural materials. Just beautiful. So really, really stoked. It was a real successful trip. Always get back into nature and be amazed at the things that you can find. Now granted, the moss and the lichens may have very well been the highlight, but I was literally at my last little section of leaves. So getting a couple of good garbage bags worth of leaves, this is absolutely gold to me. Not only do they look good when you just add a bit of leaf litter onto the bottom of your vivarium, but also using these in my potting mixes and grinding them up, as well as their primary source of food for a lot of the different isopods. And as well, we got an entire box, literally a full box of bark. It's got all sorts of different mosses on it, mostly oak bark. There's some different poplar and stuff like that. Here's some of those pieces I was showing you out in the field with different lichens and mosses on them. We even got some mushrooms on some of them. So all sorts of good natural stuff to use in our vivariums. Nature's store. So as always, my friends, thank you for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.